Hi friends, so excited to do this reading for you today. I have set the intention of tuning into the energies of soulmates who haven't incarnated with you in this lifetime. Specifically soulmates who haven't incarnated but are actively guiding you. I'm so sorry about that construction noise. There is very little time in my day that is silent, that is quiet. So I'm going to have to record at a time of noise. So we have a lot of soulmates that haven't incarnated with us. They don't have to be romantic partners in any sense. Soulmate simply means we share soul energy with them. Okay, so we'll see what comes up for you. Here are the 3 piles: the violet flame, internal explorer, and fire. So pick your pile, pause the video if you need more time, and whoever's ready, let's begin the reading. We'll start with the violet flame. Alright, so the violet flame, pile 1. I've already drawn your cards from different piles, but I'll be looking at them with you. This is a soulmate, this is a guide that is constantly present. Look at this person. I'm guessing this represents you. And this eye is constantly there. It's a watchful, loving eye. Tells me that you're very protected. So there could have been instances in the past when you've been stopped at the last minute from doing something that you were going to do that was probably going to be harmful to you. Decisions that changed last minute for you, and other people might see you as indecisive or wishy-washy, but you know that something guided you to change your decision at the last moment, and that turned out to be really protective and important for you. This soulmate, this guide is also very supportive of your creative pursuits. There's a butterfly here. I would advise you to very actively get in touch with them next time you're doing something creative and ask for their help and ask for their support. You might be surprised at how easily you're able to produce whatever it is that you want to produce. Also, the violet flame is a very cleansing frequency of energy. It is supposed to cleanse us of our past karmas, especially if we've already learned the lessons, but we still have energetic cords that bind us to that particular situation or relationship. The violet flame helps us cut those cords. So this guide, this soulmate, I think helps you with a number of things. So we want to see today if they have any particular message for you, for wherever you are in your life. First, let's see how they might appear to you. Volcanoes and the sun. Oh, both are cards that are about fire. Also, look at this, with the violet flame, I was saying that there's a lot of cleansing that happens with the violet flame. And here we have a representation of a volcano that is about cleansing. But we also have the word power here. So I think this guide is very, very invested in you experiencing authentic inner power, for you to be really anchored in who you are. Not a false sense of power that comes from external validation, but something that is really, that really comes from the depths of you, from the core of you, just as lava comes from the core of the earth. You might also have like a tendency to bottle up emotions, and then you might have explosions from time to time. Now, in a a psychological sense or from a therapeutic lens, this kind of this kind of an emotional life where you bottle up things and then have an explosion, that is generally understood to be unhealthy. But I feel like here your guide is saying that's kind of creative for you, that it's the source of your creative explosions. You can still come into a better balance with it. You don't have to bottle up feelings, but I think they're just offering a perspective for your emotional life that's just not that's not simply about this is healthy and this is unhealthy, but saying, okay, this is how your emotional patterns serve the ways in which you want to create yourself. Because I think that you've come into this lifetime with some very difficult challenges that fill you up with fear. And so this is one way in which you deal with that, which is that you let all of these feelings, gather and create a kind of force with which you can then face whatever it is that's coming up, whether it's something you have to break away from or something difficult that you have to do or a risk that you have to take. This lifetime is really about authenticity for you, who you really are at your core. The sun, light. You may experience the presence of your soulmate guide most clearly during the day. Also, I feel when you're engaged with pursuits that are symbolically connected to the light. So when you're trying to understand something, when you are being honest, when you are, acting towards the vision that you have for your life, because we need both. We need the sun and we need the moon. We need the light, we need darkness. So we need to act, but we also need to wait. We need to pursue our desires, but we also need to surrender. So I think that your soulmate guide is present or is available to you more readily when you are on the light side of things, when you're acting, when you're ready to move. Let's see, what is the specific message that they have for you at the moment? This is the 9 of Swords reversed, the 3 of Wands, and the Fool. Okay. Yeah. So on this card we have great strength, and on this card we have established strength. So I think what's happened recently is that you have just rejected an established way of doing things. So you could have let go of a job that gave you a particular kind of title, or you could have let go of a relationship that structured your life for you. Like the identity of being a husband or a wife or a partner or a mother or a parent. You've let go of something external and you have just come into a sense of what feels really powerful to you within yourself. What identity feels really yours, that is not given to you by others, but that you give to yourself, that feels organic to you. This could also be something about gender or sexuality. So if recently, let's say that you figured out what is the identity that works best for you, that helps you access yourself in the easiest way or in the most accurate way, this is speaking to that. You've let go of a particular identity and you have accepted a new one, but this new identity is not necessarily validated by others. It is something that you are giving to yourself. And it's also in its early stages. So you could have just figured it out. You may not have told others. You're just feeling it out. You may think that, you know, a new journey has begun, but actually you're still in the precursor to that new journey. You still need a little bit more time with whatever this is. Okay, I'm just noticing that the cards are out of frame. Yeah. Okay, so you may think that the new journey has already begun, but actually it's yet to begin. This is the precursor to what you are going to do, to the path that you're going to now adopt. This is going to be a very, very new path. So first thing that your guide is coming in to say, your soulmate is coming in to say, is that they're confirming this shift that you've made, that it's a shift in the right direction. And they're also not warning you, but just letting you know that the real journey, the real new journey is yet to begin, and it's coming. It's exciting, but I feel also that there's a little bit of trepidation in the air. So this could have taken a lot out of you, this shift. And you may be wondering, wow, a whole new journey yet to begin. You're going to be fine, pile one. Yeah, look at that. 10 of Swords. Ace of Swords, yeah. And 5 of Cups, absolutely. So something in your recent past just reached a breaking point. You reached a breaking point. Look at this person. They're bent and all the swords in their back. But actually, this is a negative moment with a really positive connotation, because this means that something finally comes to an end. You know, the burden, because what happens often with us, with a lot of us, is that as long as we're able to manage the suffering, we keep going, we keep going. It's only when the suffering reaches a breaking point that we feel ready to take action, and you did. The breaking point came and went, you took action, you gained a lot of clarity. There could have been something here in this past situation that was just very hard for you to identify as a source of suffering. So what you could have thought to be, this is sustaining and this is nourishing, was actually draining you. And it could have taken you a long, long time to understand that, but you did. And that actually helped you move really fast, because you just understood there's nothing to grieve here. You know, this is just not sustaining me in the way that I thought it did. Sisterhood of the Rose, beauty and devotion, soul family, call in your tribe, you don't have to do it alone. Pleiades, double mission, channeling and uplifting humanity. Okay. So the new path. The new path is going to feel very different than what you've lived so far in this incarnation. It's going to feel like you just are able to access yourself in a very smooth, easy way. There is less of a gap between what you feel and what you say. Less of a gap between what you seek and what you offer to the world. It's just there is an alignment between the self and how it acts in the world. Experience of the self and how it acts in the world. Whereas earlier, you could have had a very different experience of the self, and then whatever you did was very different. So you could have needed solitude, but you kept befriending others, or you needed connection and you kept isolating. But now a greater alignment is coming between how you experience yourself and what you actually do in the world. I feel also that because of this new alignment and authenticity, the people who are coming into your life are also much more, they see you more clearly, you know, because you are less distorted to your own self. So the friends that now come into your life are just much more suited to you and just much more in touch with who you really are. There could also be a career shift coming where you are moving into more expression. You are moving into more of a showing of yourself rather than a technical role. You're taking on a more creative role. It's feeling really good, but again, I'm still feeling a little bit of hesitation, a little bit of, am I really going to be able to do this? The answer is yes, but I think your doubt is something to take seriously. I think you just need... This is an image of the self that you haven't had in the past. This kind of a self that can just flow. You could have had a difficult relationship with yourself where you didn't know what you needed and you were angry with yourself for doing quote unquote the wrong things. Yes, I think you're angry with yourself with the ways in which you've acted in the past. You need some time to deal with that anger, to let it go, to understand that you did the best you could, pile one. Whatever you understood of the self at the time, you tried your best to honor it. And now is the time to move from that self. The fact that you can see that you made mistakes means that you've grown. There is some tension here with what you consider to be your ugliness. That is something that you might want to work on. Your guide, your guide is not coming in to say, no, don't worry, you did all right, you were the most beautiful. No, your guide is actually so balanced and simply holding space while you figure these questions out for yourself, because this guide is not in the habit of just providing validation to move you. It's not about their validation at all. They understand that it's about you being able to understand yourself. It doesn't matter whether they understand you or not. It doesn't matter whether other people in your life understand you or not. You have to be in sync with yourself, and they're holding space for you so that you can get into that sync, so that you can see more of yourself and learn what to do, how to be in a relationship with parts of you that you don't like or you find ugly. Their push is not to say all of you is beautiful. Their push is to say, let's try and live with all of ourselves, the beautiful bits and the ugly bits and the in-between bits. Very, very balanced guide here. This also tells me that they are following a template of love that is very different than what you fantasize for yourself. So you may be seeking relationships where other people see you as beautiful all the time, as lovable all the time, whereas this guide is holding up a very different template of love, where you don't have to be beautiful all the time, you don't have to be lovable all the time, and you're still loved, you're still seen. This is a shift that is, this is a leap that is hard for you to take. That, I'm seeing the leap here. That really, you don't need to excise parts of you that are flawed or that are, in your understanding, ugly. You have to get into a relationship with them. You have to understand what drives that ugliness. You have to understand what is at stake in those flaws. This is the next stage of your inner work, pile one. To learn to live with parts of you that you don't like without translating them into a metaphor of lovability. And this is something that your guide is really helping you with by modeling that love to you. I don't need you to be beautiful all the time. I don't need you to be lovable all the time. This is what you are learning to give to your own self, what your guide, what your soulmate is already giving to you. Alright. One final message for how your soulmate sees this lifetime. A lot of growth that you can't see. I think this lifetime you are making big progress in terms of the soul's journey, but you are here. And so what you see is this very dark side of the trunk. You know, it feels like freedom is far away in the distance. Like the light is really far away in the distance, but it's right there. And you're meant to be on this side of things. You're meant to be closer in touch with the darkness, with the confusion, with the chaos. But at the level of the soul, you're making huge progress, huge strides here in terms of whatever it is that you're here to learn or whatever it is that you're working on through lifetimes. Very encouraging message here, pile 1, but I also feel that there is a kind of deflation, okay? And I think the deflation is this, that your guide is not all flowers and roses and balloons. You're not like, oh, you're the most beautiful person in the whole world. And I think because that has been your image of what love should feel like, this guide could feel a little bit distant. This guide could feel like, why are you not showering me with positive regard? But that's exactly what you have to learn. It's not about positive regard, it's about unconditional regard, which your guide has for you already and which you have to now learn to give to yourself. Alright, pile 1, that's your message from your soulmate who hasn't incarnated with you in this lifetime. All right, hello pile 2. I have already drawn your cards beforehand, but I'll look at them with you. So, the internal explorer. Yeah, this is someone, you are someone who's just very committed to inner work. You could also be a little bit of an introvert, like have very developed and complex inner world, like the world of your home, the world of your psyche, that you don't readily share with others. You may share only a part of you with others. Everything else is hidden. And it's not a sneaky kind of hidden, like you're not trying to fool others. It's just it's just too precious for you to share with others. And the way that your pleasure is organized, the way your self-image is organized, you like to be with certain things in private, in isolation. It's actually quite beautiful and quite balanced. Like you've figured it out, you know. With some introverts, there's a lot of pressure in their life to open. And then with other introverted people, there's a pressure from within where there's self-doubt about their tendencies, and there's a push from within to open. And you don't have any such thing. You're very comfortable with yourself. You could also be quite creative, and you like to create when you're alone. I feel like your best work is whatever work that you do. Your best work is not about volume, but about quality. So if you write, then it's not about writing a whole brilliant book, but it's about those 3 sentences somewhere in the book that just that's an achievement of a lifetime. This is something that you might need to understand about yourself. If you put pressure on yourself to produce good work in quantity, that is not suited to you. It's about quality for you, and so there is going to be a lot of work that is not of top-notch quality, so that you can produce then those 3 sentences that are. Okay. Let's see how your guide, how your soulmate presents themselves to you. Time, discipline, growth plans. Okay. Yeah. There's a Saturnine quality to this guide, this soulmate. They're very invested in your growth, but not in the sense of a pushy parent, but just very helpful and ready and supportive to guide you in the right way. They're big on discipline. So if you are disciplined, or if you seek discipline, you may want to connect with your guide to get there sooner, or also understand what kind of discipline would work for you. This is what's coming through pile 2. I feel like you seek discipline, you long for discipline, but you kind of don't know how to do that in a way that doesn't tamper your energies, that doesn't tamper with your energies, that doesn't interfere with your process. And your guide is saying to you, reach out to me and I can help you. Reach out to me and I can help you. Because look at this image here. So can you see it? Yeah, there's a tree here that doesn't have any, it's not anchored to earth. Okay, the roots are in the air, and clocks are hanging from this tree, and it is this person with a microphone that is on earth, that is rooted to the earth. So I think that the kind of discipline that you need is not conventional. It's not about doing the same thing every day. We tend to confuse consistency with discipline. Discipline can also be something like, I will do what I'm called to do in the moment in a disciplined way. I will not let myself interfere. So if my body's saying right now, get up and start walking, I'm going to do that instead of, following my brain that says, oh, it's 2 o'clock, it's lunchtime. No, my body's saying walk, so I'm going to walk. And then at night, my mind is saying, oh, I should go to sleep so that I can wake up tomorrow morning. But my body's saying, no, I want to write right now. So that can also be discipline, about following the promptings of your body. Consistency is not the only way of following discipline or of being disciplined. And I think your guide can really help you with what kind of discipline you need. It can be a conventional thing because it can be about routine, what time to wake up, what time to sleep. It could also be just a different model that you need. Growth plans. I think your guide is coming in to say the kind of growth that you seek is going to take time. It's not going to just happen all of a sudden. So let it unfold on its own time. Remember what we were saying about quality and not quantity, and the quality that you're capable of producing at the level of your work. It's going to take a good amount of time to get there. In your skill set, in your spiritual capacity, just in you need. There's a lot of growth that will happen for you to reach that highest quality that you're capable of. So just trust the process, trust the time that it's going to take. All right, let's see what specific message your guide soulmate has for you. The moon in reverse, the hanged man in reverse, perfected work. This is so on point. This is exactly what I was just saying. You might feel stuck at this time, pile 2. It may feel like you've been trying to get something, achieve something for a while. It's just not happening. Instead, there's just newer and newer layers of healing coming up, newer and newer layers of, you having to work on yourself coming up. Remember, you're very good at inner work, but you may be tiring of it at the moment. You may be feeling, when is it going to end, or when am I going to, end this particular stage of things? Well, again, your guide is coming in to say, just trust the process. Don't put your ideas of timing on it, because where you're going to the Four of Wands, perfected work. You are going to reach this place of just something being so beautifully established and growing on its own. Wands have this divine spark, this growing energy, this difference between being alive and being dead. And once something is imbued with Wands energy, then it just grows on its own. Like this card here, with this animal that's also a tree, also a plant, and is also light, and is also earth, and is also sky and air. Like, it's everything. And so this is where you're going, where growth will then feel organic, but you have to get there to that particular stage of things. The Four of Wands is also about wands being firmly rooted in the earth. Yeah, so alright, I'm really sorry, pile 2. My storage ran out. Yeah, so I was saying that there have been instances in the past where you've had to abandon projects because they just started feeling extremely stagnant, that you were not able to move on from that stagnation. Things were just not growing, and you're very worried that this might happen again. Or you could be considering leaving something that feels stagnant. So this is what your guide will say to you, that don't decide whether you want to stay or leave through the lens of stagnation, or through the lens of, do I see progress or not? Don't look at progress in the thing that you're working on. Look at progress in yourself. So are you learning things on a regular basis? Are you seeing any changes in yourself, in how you work? Don't think about the outcome. Don't think about the product. Think about you. As long as you are changing and growing and understanding things about how you need to do things, or what you need to do, what you need to work on, as long as your inner work is happening, keep going. Stay where you are. Keep at it. When you feel like there's no scope for inner work here, then it's time to leave. Priestess, how are you being called to step up and lead? What lights you up? Morning dew, clarity, a fresh start, a positive outlook. Okay, so one practical message for you. You might want to work in the mornings. That might be when your energy is clearest. It also feels like your guide is asking you to simply trust your visions, no matter how surreal they may be, how you might feel this is never going to happen. Just keep doing what you're doing. Just keep focusing on your inner work. You will get there, pile 2. But it just feels like your vision is so big. What you want to achieve, what you're able to achieve, what is meant for you is so big that it's necessarily going to take some time and some real solid hard work and transformation to get there. And it's very natural to feel disheartened and discouraged. You may be at that kind of a point in things where you feel, is this working or not? Yes, it's working. Keep going, keep going. This is not the time to give up. This is the time to keep going. Lead yourself. One final message about how your soulmate guide sees this current incarnation. Strength. You are here to really root yourself in the earth. This message has come through a couple times in this reading. Root yourself in the earth. You know, whatever it is that. So, okay, let's go back to this card. You know, in your private space, in your inner work, you may be very imaginative. You may be seeing things that no one is seeing. Let's say that you're working in an organization. You see a future that no one else sees. It's very hard for you to explain to them what is possible for this organization. But as long as it's simply a vision, there is not much you can do about it. Your task in this lifetime is to bring that vision to earth, you know, to root it into the earth. And for that, you need to work at the level of the vision, and you need to work at the level of the everyday, at the level of the practical dimension of things. But I think this practical dimension is a little bit away. Right now, you still need to work on yourself and your vision. The time to bring it to earth hasn't come yet. And this might be why you're fretting, because something inside of you knows that it needs to come to earth. But pile 2, you're not there yet. And that's not your fault. It's just the nature of things, right? Like gestation. It needs this dream, this vision needs a gestational period. But yeah, whatever you're dreaming of, whatever your vision is for your life, you will be able to bring it to earth. But again, think of how much time this kind of a tree, this kind of a trunk would have taken to grow into this particular shape and girth, right? This kind of a massiveness, it's like that. You have to let it grow. There's also a lone wolf energy here, so you might really feel isolated. I mean, I think you might be introverted, but then you might also feel isolated about the fact that what you are seeing is possible. There's no one there with you who also, like you, sees it as possible. Don't worry about it. You know, you're meant to travel this bit of your path alone, and then the right people will come and they're meant to. Don't worry about it. Don't see it as proof that your vision is not possible, or that your vision is not great or won't be accepted by others. No such thing. You just the work that you need to do right now is best done by yourself. Very, very Saturnine energy to your guide, to your soulmate. Very no nonsense. Just keep going, they're saying. I'm not feeling a lot of feelings. Just very solid, supportive. Just keep going. Which I personally love. So that's your message, pile 2. All the best with this vision that you're trying to bring to earth. You're going to do it. It's going to happen. All right, pile 3, fire. You're a very, very passionate individual. You've had to face some tough situations in life. You're vibrating with rage, but it's a sacred rage. You know, it's not the rage of someone who wants to destroy the world, but the rage of someone who wants to remake it. There's a lot of clarity in your field right now, so you may have just emerged from a very long, big cycle that's just given you fire. I know what needs to be done and I'm going to do it. And this person here about to stand up and just unleash themselves on the world. Out of all the 3 piles, I feel like you are extremely connected to this soulmate. You are there is a oneness in your energies. You've worked with them so deeply that their voice has become yours or has merged into yours. Like, you don't even need to turn to them and say, can you help? You just already know what they will say, how they're helping, how they will help. It's very powerful, the bond you have with your guide, with your soulmate. And they're quiet because they know they don't need to say anything to you. You already know it. But I feel like this is coming through also because you need to hear this, pile 3. This is the kind of love and this is the kind of oneness that you may be looking for in your actual relationships, not just romantic, but also friendships, and also people that, you know, you can trust. And you always wonder why that quality of intimacy never materializes. The fact that you seek it, it comes from this relationship that you already have with your guide, because you feel it here, you know it's possible. But you may not have it with actual people in your life. And so this is to let you know that that's not because they're the wrong people to have around you. That's not because you are not doing something right. It's just that this kind of oneness and intimacy that you have with your soulmate guide is something that you have cultivated over lifetimes. And if it doesn't materialize with others in this particular lifetime, don't worry about it. You already have it. Let's see how this guide soulmate presents to you, or when. Depth lake, yes. And clarity mountain. I love this. The lake and the mountain, they're everywhere. This is so beautiful, pile 3. They're with you very concretely and very viscerally always. They're with you when you're asleep, they're with you when you're reflecting, they're with you when you are clear about something, they're with you when you're confused about something, they're with you when you're resting, they're with you when you're creating. It's just you might dream of them quite a bit. But also they may be most available to you when you're by yourself, when there's quiet around you. When you are held by the elements in some way, because here this figure is held by the snow and here this figure is held by water. Yeah, so maybe swimming, because both snow and the lake. So maybe water is when you feel them most clearly. When you're taking a shower, or when you're taking a bath, or when you're swimming, or when you're close to water. This also tells me that your guide is very connected to your emotional body, routed to you through your emotions. This feels so good. I also want to go to sleep in this energy like this, because it's so comfortable, and just it's comfortable, in not in the sense of a relationship that's just, you know, like a relationship that has grown so much that now you can be comfortable with each other all the time. That's there, but it's also alive. It's also crackling as if you've just met. So it's both comfortable and that there is an exciting edge to it all at the same time, which is jackpot. Pile 3. So let's see what particular message your guide soulmate has for you. Three of Swords in reverse, the Eight of Cups in reverse, and the Five of Cups in reverse. Oh, sorry, not reversed. Oh, well, this is a very different kind of energy than what I've been feeling so far. Actually not. Pile 3, you're looking for this intimacy in your current life and you're not finding it and you don't understand it and you just want it. You feel abandoned and you don't understand why relationships just keep breaking down in your life and why this kind of intimacy that you know is real is simply not manifesting in your life. Oh, it is so ironic. The reason you're seeking it is because you already have it. This is your message, Pile 3. What you're seeking, you already have it, but you have it with your soulmate, guide. They're not incarnated, but they're very much present and alive. Oh, Queen of Cups, the Devil in reverse, Seven of Coins. Right. Okay. This is a little difficult. The message is a little difficult, so stay with me, okay? And take some time to process it. Your guide is saying, let go of this need at the level of your incarnation. Lean into my presence. You're going to understand much later why it had to be this way. Right now, be with me. Look at this Queen of Cups submerged in water. Be with me. I am here. The intimacy you seek, you already have with me. Tune into my presence. Be with me. Let this need go at the level of your current incarnation. It's like it could have taken the proportions of an addiction. Like you just want only that, and you keep chasing relationships one after the other. Your guide is saying, back off. Don't chase this kind of intimacy in your present life. Tune into my field. I am here with you. Trust that this is what you need right now. You're going to understand much later why. Just right now, work on retreating from this chasing energy, from this needing to pursue relationships and intimacy in a particular way. Tune into my field. Let's work on this together, and something's going to radically change for you as you do this. This feels very much like a fairy tale energy, Pile 3, where, the minute you accept that I'm in love with the beast becomes a prince. So the minute you will actually be able to say, I'm okay where I am, something will shift in your actual life. But you can't do this as a bargain. You can't say, I'm surrendering so that I can have what I want. It has to be a true surrender. It has to be a true giving up of this desire. And your guide is coming in to say, you're giving up only at the level of your present incarnation. You already have what you seek. Oh my God. Your guide's energy is like a vast ocean. I feel it all around me too. Holding and continuously cleansing, purifying, loving. The wasteland, sustainability, slow down, tend to your garden. The mystic rose, compassion, devotion, humility, humanity, grace. The rose garden, innocence, forgiveness, be gentle with yourself. Yes. So what's happening is that in this pursuit of intimacy, you are really getting drained. Look at how parched this entire field is. Look at how far, I mean, you're close to water, but you're also far away from it. This is what you need to do. You need to give up. Tend to yourself. The rose garden. Be gentle with yourself. And look at this figure. How much they're holding themselves. And also here, this is Mother Mary. You know, holding this rose, holding you. This is basically, I mean, you don't have to believe in Mother Mary. This is basically a feminine goddess energy. You're really, really encouraged by your guide soulmate right now to just tend to yourself with the assurance that they're there with you. They're very much there with you. There's just when you do this, pile 3, something is going to so radically shift for you. When you stop hankering after relationships and intimacy, like something is just, it feels like a complete turnaround. It could be relationships, but I feel like you are just going to transform so radically. This is what your guide is really encouraging you to do. Let go, release. Look at the water here too. All this water. Alright, one final message about how your guide soulmate sees your current incarnation. Look at these trees growing on the slope. Upright, but on a slope. This is a very particular kind of challenge that you've incarnated with. And I feel it is this, like learning to let go of what you want, learning to transform your desire body into a body of the soul. That is what you're here to do. It's a pretty steep path in this lifetime, but the rewards that you're going to unlock are just, you can't imagine them. Because these trees are now indestructible. They are growing on the slope. Nothing can uproot them. And this is what you're doing. You're creating an intimacy with yourself that cannot be uprooted. Again, the metaphor of the garden, of growing. Here also the metaphor of a garden. Yeah, see, tend to your garden and the rose garden. And then these trees growing on the slope. You know, the garden that you may have tried to cultivate, conventionally beautiful, the garden that you think everyone is able to create, like a healthy marriage or like a good romantic relationship, and you might just simply not understand why you are not able to get there. But pile 3, that's because you are meant to cultivate a very different kind of garden, and it's so beautiful. You just can't see it yet. Alright, so in a sentence, let go of your longing for relationships and intimacy in this moment. Work on yourself, be with yourself, truly give up on that desire for intimacy with others, and then see what happens. See what happens. That's your message, pile 3. Take care.